we are muted. Just do a sound check. Yvonne and Eva Marie, are you both there?
I am. I think Eva Marie's getting on now.
Okay, well, we'll get the ball rolling. Hopefully she'll come in loud and clear. Hello, everybody. My name is Art Manville. I'd like to welcome you all to our webinar today. Got a fantastic webinar today. Sometimes you forget what you know, and sometimes you forget, the power of what you know. And so today is kind of a refresher for some of you, but it's also going to be another twist on what we have learned. We're always trying to learn, and we're always endeavoring to move forward in our business to help you build your businesses. In fact, that's our only mission right now, is to help you grow your businesses. So that's just a picture of us. Some of our up on the stage with Aaron Garrity, the CEO, and a picture with us with the Erskines to Hawaii. One of the great perks of Zango is all of the wonderful trips. We've been to Thailand on Zango. We've had several trips to Hawaii where they've paid for our accommodations. And the big one is coming, guys. See that picture on the left-hand corner? We've been waiting a year and a half for this trip, 500K premier trip to Paris. And we're heading out here towards the latter part of June, staying in this incredible resort. One thing, hotel, one thing about Zango is they're first class, and they don't try to cut dollars. And when they put on a trip, they put on a trip. This hotel that we're staying at is 700 pounds a night. So that's incredible. In fact, we decided we were going to extend a night, and we didn't want to pay 700 pounds, and we're staying on the other side of the river, what's called the left bank. So what do you think, Terry? She wasn't even ready. But what do you think about this Paris trip?
Wow. It's coming up fast. Really excited about it. We've got a fair bit of traveling to do in the next few months. And so what can I say? Zango always does things first class. It's very exciting to be a part of this great company. And so, what we have to understand is Orlando is coming up, which is the next trip, which is going to be extra exciting. I hope to meet a lot of you people there. We've got a very large group coming, and there's so much excitement about the 365 that's going to be launched. That's going to be extremely exciting. So, and they've chosen the most beautiful resort in Orlando. And so we're really excited about going on that trip. Art and I are actually going to stay a couple extra days afterwards to talk to some other leaders and do some other, side
fun stuff.
Fun stuff, yeah. Okay. Sitting by the pool and little things like that.
Okay, thanks a lot, Terry. I'd like to welcome on to help me with this call today two of the great leaders on our team, Yvonne and Eva Marie Sarda, 100K premiers from Wenatchee, Washington. Are you there, guys?
We are.
Oh, yeah, that's like a duet. I like that.
Just to let people know why this sounds so strange, we're on two different cell phones, and we'll soon be in two different cars. Eva Marie's on her way over to Seattle, and I'm on my way back to Kashmir.
Wow, fantastic. Well, I'd like to welcome you guys on, and great leaders on our team, and someone in our team actually that has worked the three markets that we're going to be talking about today. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
I can't start the call with just telling my little story about Eva and Yvonne. Here's a couple. Yvonne retired from 40 years in the aerospace industry, and from within a couple of years of retirement, from 40 years in the aerospace industry, found a new wife, got married, started a Zango business, and became a 100K premier. So, and some people's lives are over when they retire, Yvonne.
Yeah, but I've always considered the word retirement to be just another word for slow death. And the last thing I wanted to do was to be sitting in a rocking chair on a porch, and we were looking for something to do after retirement, and the timing was perfect. 2 months after I retired, you called Eva Marie and told about this fantastic new nutritional drink, and the rest, as they say, is history.
History in the making, Yvonne, and yes, it's true. A lot of people know that Terry and I have been networking for over 20 some years, and Eva is the only person from our first network that we started the networking over 20 years ago in Zango. Isn't that right, Eva?
That is correct.
Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing in those old days. I don't even know how people did network marketing before the internet and cheap phones and things like that. This is a piece of cake in comparison.
Oh, isn't that funny? Yeah, I remember this big, huge meeting we had in Florida. You weren't there at that time, but we had this big, huge meeting in Florida with several hundred people out to come and watch the very first video, one of those big, what are they, cassettes, video cassettes, remember?
Right,
that was the first video. That's how long we've been in this.
That's a long time, exactly. And of course, then we hadn't seen each other for a very long time either. So when you called, and Yvonne is a scientist, of course. When you told him about the product of the Zango juice and the mangosteen fruit, and of course, then talking about Santones, and all this was brand new to us. And of course, we're always looking for a nutritional product that's really good for us. Never heard of Santones, so Yvonne went on PubMed and looked at all the information. He goes, "Whoa, this sounds really interesting. We better have some of this juice for health, And so, just started drinking for prevention, and then a very lucrative business as well. And then it helped Yvonne with his allergies. What a bonus that was, So, you couldn't stop drinking it. Tasted good.
And one of the things that I want to say publicly in front of our whole team is, I don't know if there's anyone else that works so hard for their team than you and our organization. If so, there'd be just a couple others that would even approach your level of dedication to your team and tirelessly calling and keeping connected and working with them. And I really want to applaud you guys for the amount of work you do helping other people on your team.
Well, Art, thank you for that, but we learned it all from you. Because no, seriously, you started off when we started in. You were very, very supportive, helped get us going, showed us some of the ropes, and we're just basically reproducing what the way you started us.
Well, I appreciate that, guys.
Well, you know what? It's really fun communicating because it is amazing the results people are getting with the Juice at the Health Challenge. It's just absolutely wonderful. I'm not sure if this gal is on the call today, but I touched base this week with a gal who no one had touched base with, whose mom actually had introduced her to the Juice, just given her a bottle because her friend, she had mentioned the fact that she suffered from really bad back pain. And this gal says, well, have her try some of the Zango juice. Well, she tried it. Within a week of being on this bottle, she got some relief from her pain. Apparently, she had been in a helicopter accident 10 years ago. Oh. And then she decided that she wanted to drink the juice and bought it wholesale, 2K. She said, no one has talked to me, and she wants to build a business. And you hear stories like that all the time, and it's a rewarding kind of a business to be in and be able to interconnect with people from all over the world.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? Well, let's jump into the topic of the call, the power of the three markets, And this is a very, very powerful strategy. This is something that we have done from the beginning. I know you guys have worked the three markets. The three markets are the warm market. That's defined as people that you know. The cold market is people that you don't know, and those require some kind of advertising or outreach kind of thing. And then the third market is a phrase I coined, the meat market, the people that you meet every single day. And so we saw this as a business right off the bat. We treated it like a business, and so we started investing. And just before we get into the whole three markets, I really think what we're talking about here is starting to think of your business like $1 million business. I think that's one of my little hot buttons is people get involved in this for $35. They go out, to tell a few of their friends. Some of them say yes, some of them say no. 30 days later, not everybody's joined. They get discouraged. A lot of times they quit before they even get started. And so you've got to come into this if you want to create a large business, a large network, if you want to fire your boss, if you want to get that dream house in Hawaii, if you want to live the dream, you've got to treat it like a business. And I put up this slide here about setting up your workspace, ordering tools. Why not have a marketing budget? Gosh, we started with a marketing budget and we didn't have any money. but we knew that if we wanted to launch this correctly, there were certain things that we would have to do. And we started spending several $100s a month right off the bat in marketing, with one of what was left over in one of our credit cards, set up a fat tax file. And if you could just think of this as if you had started up a Subway franchise that you'd invested $100,000 into, if you would go into it with that level of commitment, some people mortgage their house, they borrow from their family, their friends, they go out and find investors just to start a Subway, one of the lowest priced franchises there are out there. And believe me, and I've said this before, if you had invested $100,000 in a Subway franchise and it was 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning, and your door would be open, would it not? And where are all the rest of the people that could be on this call today, right? This is our business. This is your business here today, and I applaud you for coming on it. But it goes to show you that there could be another 500 or 1,000 people, and they would be on here if they treated this like a real business. But instead, it's more like a hobby for a lot of people. So Rome was not built in a day. In addition, a lot of business people don't expect to turn any profit for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And I sometimes see people in Zango after 90 days, they're not making enough money, and they go out the way. And if you've been on some of our previous webinars, you know what this is a lack of emotional intelligence, a lack of that kind of inherent intelligence. And one thing, Yvonne, one of the reasons that I think that you have been so successful in Zango is because you brought an incredible business background as running large corporations. You brought that same kind of business mindset to your Zango business. Am I right?
Yes, you are. And, I think you've hit the nail on the head here. And one of the problems with this home-based business, especially this one, is that the entry cost is so low that people don't value it. It only costs $35 you can build a multi-million-dollar business with an initial investment of $35. This is unheard of in any industry. And I think the problem is that when people put in $35, it's sort of ho-hum, maybe this will happen and maybe it won't. But if they had put in $30,000 or $300,000 or $3 million, it would be 18-hour days until they got the thing running.
Hey, you know what, Yvonne? I remember now going back, into when you guys first started, you kind of treated it like a hobby for a while. And then there was a time, of course you had a honeymoon and all that kind of stuff to do. But there was a time, and I can remember it was like in January of probably, must be 2004, when you made a decision to treat this like a business.
That's exactly right. We actually signed up at the end of August in 2003. But as you said, we were honeymooning. We went to Europe. We went to Southern California. We went to Texas visiting our kids. And we were basically
rolling out the new bride, right?
Yes, right. Exactly.
Oh.
And by the time Christmas was over, and we were back in Kashmir, about the middle of January, we had signed up a few people from the warm market. About the middle of January, we looked and we said, we've got 17 people. This is going to be our future, and we made a decision there and then to treat it like a business. We started investing in advertising. We started devoting 8 to 10 hours a day, and we started getting organized.
You can tell we're really good friends that I can make a comment like rolling the new bride out. That's not a comment you make to people you don't know well.
Well, we were still caregivers to Mom. Of course, Mom lived with us for the first year, and
you had to take care of your mom too. She had a lot of health challenges.
She had a lot of health challenges, of course, with dementia. We couldn't really leave her alone, and but it was wonderful. I'm really glad that we can do that and still work the business. That's a blessing. That if you have other challenges in life, you can actually intervene this business very, very nicely and still make it happen.
Yeah, and this is a great story, isn't it? Because for those of you listening, the Sardas you know, after about 6 months in the business, had 17 people. I think you were 1Ks, and I was wondering, how am I ever going to get these guys to 5K?
Well, you know, it's really funny, Art, because you also mentioned at one time, I can remember you had 1,700 people in the organization, and we thought, wow, that's a lot of people. We'll never be able to make that one. Of course, we way exceeded that now. So, you know, for people just starting off, it's starting off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is amazing how it starts to grow and grow and grow. As long as you nurture the business, as long as you communicate